There is a news from Catalonia. Its ex-president, Carles Puigdemont, was arrested yesterday, a place known as Sardinia in Italy. What was he doing there? In fact, since 2017, he was staying in Belgium as a refugee. He had run away from his native country as a president because he and his government has ordered a referendum to favor secession of his autonomous region as an independent country from Spain, and the Spanish government had barred it and dismissed him, and these guys had to run away from there. Many of them fled, few of them were arrested and were behind the bars, and this year only more than a dozen of them were released after the Spanish government pardoned them. This happens. Now the present president of that region, Catalonia, has condemned this step because he himself is a secessionist leader. Their plea for secession is that Catalonia is one of the richest regions of Spain. They make lots of wealth, but most of that goes to Spain and is used elsewhere rather than coming back to this region. The arrest of particular leaders, even the president and prime ministers of a country, is not very new. Rare though, but it happens, especially if the country that matters is very strong, is an imperialist power, and has connection with other countries. The imperialist powers and its allies are highly interconnected. They help each other in such conditions, though they themselves are at war among themselves. War means not actual physical war, but otherwise, because of trade relations on the issues of profit, share of world market, deep cutthroat competition, highly competitive, like what happened after USA snatched the deal from France with Australia, and new setup was made AUKUS, Australia, UK and US, and where Australia was to be equipped with the latest modern nuclear submarines. France was quite angry because this deal with Australia was scrapped, and even it declared that its diplomatic relation with USA will be reduced to just a caricature of it. Well, once again, they all are in the USA and they have shaken hands and the relations are restored. That is secondary, because these guys know well how to befool their masses and when to fight, when not to. So the Bolivian president, as an example we take, when he was flying from Russia to his country in July 2013, and he was to fly over French airspace, and before entering, the captain of the aircraft was informed by the French airspace ATC that permission was denied. And then when they interacted with the president, they talked, they tried to find permission from other neighboring countries that included Austria, Spain, yes, about which I am talking about, Italy, Portugal, all of them but Austria refused the transition through the airspace, and as a result, the diversion, other thing, they had to land in Vienna for refilling, and once he landed, the refilling was denied, and the president had to stay there more than 12 hours. The Austrian rep came to him and said that he wants to inspect the aircraft because they suspected that Julian Assange the newly defected. You might have heard about him, the journalist who exposed American atrocities in Iraq and elsewhere and was taking shelter in Russia, was flying in this aircraft as Bolivian president has promised him asylum. And after long hustle, lots of problem world over, on the insistence of CIA, he was only released after 12 hours. Till then he was under detention. Well, this happens, friends, and ICC, International Criminal Court, can do nothing. UNO and other organizations are just puppet organization. Direct interventions take place, like in Venezuela against Hugo Chavez in 2002. Chile, you must have heard. Lugo in Paraguay in 2012 and Bolivia in 2008. War on terror, war on drugs. These are the slogans given by the USA. And when you join them, your country becomes puppet. It becomes a satellite of USA. Your country's freedom, diplomatic initiative is retarded. The so-called sovereignty of a country is reduced to that of a puppet. Now new organizations that are coming, AUKUS, which I talked about, Five Eyes, it's existing after Second World War only, but now strengthened. Quad 1 and Quad 2. Read about them. These countries who bow down to the American might are reduced to just puppets. And as a citizen of these countries, you have to decide, you have to think, what do you want as a patriotic citizen of your country. Back to Catalonia. Its present president, again another separatist who want Catalonia to be free, has condemned the arrest of the previous president. There are many sub-nations, small nations, other nations who want freedom, and they have been given right to secede through referendum, like Quetta in Canada, though they lost by 2% or 1%. In yes, 49% against 51%, and hence it remained part of Canada. That of Scotland, those who wanted to separate were only 45%. In Sudan, South Sudanese more than 90% are separated. It's not only separation, this continues in the world. Like Crimea joined Russia, and there are other small territories here and there. They secede, they join. This is part and parcel of the world politics, of the geopolitics. You must learn about it. And this is the democratic right of a nation. The happiness of people is not because of the boundary of a country, whether it expands or shrinks. Neither because of its constitution, which has been made by your rulers and continues for decades and centuries. No, negative. It must change as per the new development and the people's aspiration. If they are unable to make them happy, give them employment, food, clothes, housing, education, health services, then it is your right to change the constitution. It is right to change your country. Thank you.